All right, here we are. What's up, Elijah? What's up, man? I'm charging my iPad, right? The iPad pencil, so I can do this. This case is tore up on his iPad. I'm charging that so I can draw out. Use an example. I hope you're doing good, man. What's up, JDM? I'm chill. I'll tell you what. I'll show you Prague because it's actually summertime. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna unplug this. Yeah, it should be alright. It's not hooked up to the internet. Show you guys Prague. My kitchen's a mess. There's Prague from the window. You can't see. It's too bright. It's always too bright. I don't know why it does that. Hang on. Yeah, it looks better. Well, it did. It looks so far away, but it's really not that far away. Yeah, outside is a mess out here too. I gotta clean that up. But yeah, that's Prague. I can actually show you guys more now because it's summer. Because when it's winter, it gets so dark so early that you just can't see anything but lights. How's Kratos? Oh, he's good, man. He's finally starting to talk. He's saying, he's still not using sentences, but he's saying things like thank you, but he's saying it like, a little fucked up. But he definitely says bye and hi, and I could get him to say tata, like tata is their way of saying dada. I could get him to say it, but he won't say it on his own. He's saying konichek, which is like saying I think it's like a cute way of saying horse in Czech. Because I think konye is horse, but if for a kid they would say like konichek is like saying it like a cute way. Like how we have horse and horsey in English. Like look at the horsey, that's kind of like I think that's their way of saying horsey, like konichek. So what he'll do is because whenever he does talk, I make a big celebration out of it. So when it's just me and him, and he wants my attention, he always just looks at me and smiles and goes, "Konichek, konichek." He'll just walk across the room and just stare at me and just be like, "Konichek." Right? For some reason, that's the only 3-syllable word he'll say, because she tried to get him to say babichka, which Russia I think it's called babushka, but it's like the grandma. She was trying to get him to say grandma, but I guess right now he's still in that mode where he can only do like 1 3-syllable word. Because even if you try to get him to say babichka, he'll just say konichek. So it's like I'm not greedy. I let him go ahead and roll with it. The more I interact with women, the more I see why you moved out the U.S. Oh, yeah, and I was going to touch on this video. I'll probably try to play it. I'll probably get copyrighted for playing it because it's a 60 minutes episode. But, geez, I can't even imagine dealing with women back in the U.S. Like, okay, now I could possibly have more. Now I would probably have a little better luck because I've already, once they figured out, I've traveled and, did shit around the world kind of thing, I think I could probably make it a little further, right? But, even then, even with that, I just can't even imagine going back to the U.S. and, just dealing with that. With just that entire just Westerner woman thing. And like I said a long time ago, man, with that Westerner woman thing, all women, all of them are doing the same shit. From the poor countries to the rich countries. The only reason why it stands out more in the West is because they're literally at the at the top. There's nowhere else for them to go. Right. The only is like I said, was it the Filipina P or whatever that girl was on YouTube trying to talk Filipino women are actually nice and kind. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're nice and kind because they got space to go up. But if the men in the Philippines, they treating the men just like the American women treating the men there. All the women are doing the same thing. And I think this is something that really needs to be talked about more, is that, all the women are doing the same thing to an extent, right? All of them are doing in terms of being judgmental, super picky, hypergamy. It's all the same shit, right? The only reason why Westerners are complaining about it is because and the women are fucked. The only reason why the women are openly fucked up about it is because the women in these richer countries have nowhere else to go higher. They're just stuck, right? And it's for a few reasons. Because, okay, let's say like a dude who's doing well in America. Let's say a dude who's making like $500,000 in the U.S. There's always some dude in Thailand that's worth billions, right? So it's not necessarily about the country's value, but it's about how much money that individual, or the status of that individual, depending on what she is and what he is, right? There's still always that higher echelon of man, regardless of country. But the thing is, like, especially with like with these Westerner women, they're not used to having to get up and do anything, right? So like this is why, like, let's say for example, like Melania Trump, she grew up, in pretty much in Central, well, not technically not Central Europe, but she grew up in Europe, where a place where she had to grow up learning multiple languages. She had to go and travel. She had to be exposed to different cultures. So like the women in these, like a Melania Trump, she had to adjust and learn and develop and grow, and she just happened to be a white woman, right? So it all fit smoothly into getting with the Trump. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, a while back there was a white Australian girl who was like 35, woman. She was like 35, and she was talking about how she knew a guy who couldn't get a date, and he went to like Thailand and cleaned up. See, when you talk about these Westerner, like the Westerner white women, they don't have the same culture or mindset to be able to make that jump. They're not used to having to put in any effort outside of how cute do I look. They don't know how to go out and witness other cultures, learn different languages. By the time you start talking about, I've never been to Australia, but I get, so I'm more assuming because I've never been to Australia. But once you deal with like these white Westerner women, they're not used to having to make any kind of compromises. They don't have to learn another language. They're not trying to figure out another culture. They're not trying to try something new or eat new foods. The world needs to come to them because they're in the rich West. So they don't. So let's take like, I don't know. Let's take like Taylor Swift. Like Taylor Swift could not go to just name a country. She could not go to another country and successfully pull a higher echelon dude there. Or let's say like Victoria Beckham. She could not. Now David Beckham could go to another country and pull a sophisticated bitch out of there, but Victoria Beckham could not do that at all. Period. Well, maybe not. I mean, she could if she just got desperate enough. But that is not her. Woman's way of life doesn't go that way. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying it because it's the reality of the situation, particularly in the West, is that the Westerner women, and like again, depending on the class and all that, they're not, the Westerner women are used to the world coming to them. Right? This is why women will never be passport bros or passport cis, whatever. I don't know what they would call themselves. That's just one reason why. But women cannot go out there and do that. Like I told my spouse, I said, look, your dream man is not in Romania. Okay. See, and I told her, I said, look, my dream woman could be in Serbia. My dream woman could be in Lithuania. My dream woman could be in Slovakia. My dream woman could be in Nigeria. My dream woman could be in Algeria. My dream woman could be, a man's dream woman could be anywhere, right? Because man just wants woman. A woman's dream man is never in a country that's beneath hers. Right? It just is what it is, right? There is not one Czech woman who would dream to date a Ukrainian man. She'll dream to date a Norwegian guy, Anybody from the West, she'll dream for that. But women don't dream backwards, right? Women don't dream backwards in social status. Yeah, thanks, Night Feather. AD Google Maria Kovac, Dubai. She got humbled in life. Yeah, okay, let's go. I gotta go back and read how to write that, but what is it? Maria, where is it at? Maria Kovac. I'm just gonna write Kovac first. What's it saying? Kovac. Kovachuk. Oh, it's all in Czech. Okay, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I think I did stumble on this a while back. I think I did see something about this a while back. Why is it scrolling funny? Okay, it's loading weird. Let it load up. But yeah, women's dream women's dream men are not in backwards. Like it's social with women. It's always about social status. Was literally going to bring this topic up today. What's up? What's up, Gray Ray? What's up, Flick? What's up, Jam? But yeah, man, I don't know why it's taking so long to load. Model with a broken spine found on rough streets full of human traffickers. Man's over 10. Jose Bar. Wait, let me. I don't know why it's loading so slow. Maybe it's my computer. First, let's look at it. Oh, yeah. And see, here's the thing. See, when I was talking earlier about that girl, the Filipino P, whatever her name was, and she trying to make herself, she was trying to make Filipino women sound like they were like, that they were, abnormally great and all that stuff. Like those women are treating like that girl, this girl right here, she was treating them Ukrainian men like shit, right? Just is what it is. What it is. She's treating the men around her like shit. Right now, if a man from a richer country or richer area comes in, she's gonna learn how to act real quick. And in all honesty, like for me, it's I find it disgusting. Because as an American, I feel like those old movies that would usually be based off of like Greek mythology, and in the movies like for example like Zeus would like live in the body of like a bum, like a homeless person, and he would just observe how humans would treat each other and treat him. And Zeus would like do that. I think it was Zeus who would do that. And Zeus would put himself on Earth, but he would have the body of like a homeless, scruffy, dirty old bum on the street, and he would do that to see how people would really treat him and all that, right? Like I feel as an American, I feel like Zeus in that situation because I'm a black dude, right? And as long as I don't talk, many of them will believe I'm lesser, and then I'll talk, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you're American," and it's like that whole flip up. Like it can be that whole entire flip up like that. Now, sometimes you have people who just don't, it's not everybody, but it definitely happens for sure out here. So, but yeah, back to her. I was going on earlier. I was saying, well, I actually find it disgusting. I find it disgusting how fast women will do it. Women will do it quick, fast, like literally at the drop of a hat. I've seen it happen and I've watched it happen. It's so disgusting. Like it's like they don't even realize. Like it's in their nature. But they can't see it. Like they'll immediately flip up. But yeah. So let's go. This model with a broken spine found on rough streets full of human. Maria Kovalchuk. Oh yeah, because the C with the 20 vanished after attending a hotel party in Dubai with two men from the modeling business on March 9th, but was found in a broken bone state. Like I don't. Okay. I'm laughing. I know I'm laughing. The reason why I'm laughing The reason why I was talking with a good friend of mine because he's getting his doctorates in the same degree that in the mental health field that I had. We have the same masters, but he's going off to get his doctorates and he's doing internships for his doctorates right now. And we talked about this and why because he's always known my philosophy, like treat women like shit. Like he's always he will literally cut me off to say, well, I know your philosophy is treat women like shit. And I'm not saying don't treat women like shit just for the hell of it. But I mean, like, you gotta mix it in there some kind of way. Anyway, um, um, he told me he was, because he's working with teenagers, right? And he was telling me some of the cases he had, and then he started talking about this girl, and the girl's always got a boyfriend that's abusive. It's always the same thing, right? And I don't have the patience to even to work with women anymore, and if they're going down that path. I just don't have the patience for it. I don't have the patience for most of it anymore. But I really don't have the patience for dealing with women once it starts going into abusive boyfriends. I immediately just don't have the patience because it's like it's a broken record. It's a broken record bullshit. So we was talking, and he was telling me the story, and he already knows my philosophy. Like, just ignore. I wouldn't even talk to her because it's a waste of time. Any woman who's walking around talking about her abusive boyfriend is going to get off on the fact that she's getting attention about her abusive boyfriend. There is nothing you will ever say or do that will get her to see the light and leave that abusive boyfriend to get with one of the 10 nice guys that's waiting for a text back from her. Right? That woman is doing exactly what she wants to go out there and do. And she knows the risks, everything. So back to this, whatever this floozy's name is. Look, she knows what she's doing. The reason I'm laughing is because she knew exactly what the risk was. Now, if she had been like I said with the Harvey Weinstein, if she had been like just in a McDonald's, drive-through, and a dude just pulled up and started beating her up and raping her like that, yeah, that's fucked. That now, yeah, I'm not laughing at that. That's fucked up. She had nothing that had, her and sex had nothing to do with that at all, right? Just a random dude at McDonald's was like raping bitches when they went to the toilet. Yeah, like now that's fucked up. But dude, she knew all those. She knew all that. She knew all the risks. She knew all that. The reason I find it funny is because there was literally 8 guys waiting for a text back that she knew for a fact would not leave her in a broken bone state. She knew. Sexual abuse, violence is it's always okay in the name of bettering her career as hussy. It's always okay. It's always, if she thinks she can truly catapult her career, sexual abuse, physical assault, mental abuse is perfectly fine. That's why I think it's funny. Even with my own family. There's been women in my family who's gone out and do it, and my family members will tell you, I was the only one that said, let them go. That woman is doing what she wants to do, and you ain't gonna do nothing but complicate that shit. And now she's getting off on the attention from you, thinking you gonna go protect her, and she's gonna go suck his dick later that night. And like clockwork, the men just instinctively want to go save her, and everything happened exactly how I said it was. And then they come back to me and say, yeah, you was right. She went back with him. Probably drank a liter of his nut that evening. Right? And you out this episode, don't be hitting my little cousin, bro. Don't be hitting my little cousin, bro. That's my cousin, cuz. No, I love her. I known her since she was little. Yeah, and now she's getting off on you standing out there trying to protect her because now she's getting attention from this bad boy out of you, and then you're gonna bring your friends and family to get into it, and she's just sitting back getting off on all the attention. I think it's funny. Let her go out there, let her get her fucking ass beat, let her get her fucking head knocked in, and then magically, like in the other YouTube video, she'll magically find the one who was nice and just listen to her. That's the only time women are responsive to nice is after she done got her ass beat by either a man directly or the world. Now beauty's on the inside and we either love each other for who we are. It's always in that cycle. It's never the other way around. Very rarely is it that. Very rarely. So that's why I think it's funny. I don't have any. I don't care. Because like this exact girl, I would guarantee you, she had at least 10 guys that she knew of who she knew for a fact would not have harmed her at all. She knows it, and she don't want that. That's not what. See, the hard part for society to understand is that whatever you see in your head that's right may not be what the person actually wants. Right? Just because it's right, maybe just because they're pretty, it doesn't mean that they automatically want either what society considers right or what you consider is right. That little girl knew exactly what she was doing. She knew all. Okay. Just to be perfectly clear, I mean, she's not here to fight her side of it, but I can already tell you the answer to this. Okay, would she had done that? Would she had flown out to a dude in her own country who was working at Tesco or Walmart for a modeling gig? No. Why? Because he might kidnap me and kill me. She already knows. See, this, what's her name? Maria Kotovuk, whatever the fuck, right? Maria would not have flown to Romania for a modeling gig and be left alone with a bunch of stranger men that she don't really know like that for a modeling. She wouldn't have done that because it's step backwards. She knew exactly what she knew, all the risks. She's willing to take the risk of being raped and beaten as long as it could potentially boost her career. It's just the nature of it. It's what it is. It's how women. It's how women are literally wired, right? Now again, if she makes that alive, there's a chance that she might see the light, but you have to let them go through their biological development, especially if she thinks she's cute. On top of that, you have to let her do it. It's worse if she really thinks she's cute. You really got to let her go and get her ass whooped, get her ass beat, have her teeth on the floor, blood on the concrete. You have to let her go do it, because you step in there and fighting for that is gonna make it worse. Now she's gonna double down on it and keep doing it. I don't know why. I'm just a victim of abuse. So back to the friend of mine who's getting the doctorates in my field, in our field. It's the same shit. Same shit, man. Same shit. He's abusive. He hits her and all that. And I don't know why I'm still with him. I don't know why. And so now, and he tells me that because he's working with another therapist in the room, and it's like a room full of other teenagers. And so now this little girl has the 2 professional therapists and like 3 other teenagers telling her what to do, thinking that they're going to fix her so she can see the light. It never works, dude. That shit, you would be better off trying to teach a dog how to cook pancakes instead of trying to tell a woman to do some righteous shit for herself. You would be better off. You would be better off just walking down the street. Here's a great example. I think any human would be much better off just approaching homeless people and asking them if they can help find them a job and working with them instead of dealing with a woman with an abusive boyfriend. That's a waste of time. The woman with the abusive boyfriend is a complete waste of time. You would be better off going and just approaching about 10 homeless people a day and say, hey, you want a job, man? I'll help. I'll tell you what, I fill out your application for you and I'll buy you some clothes. See, all that money you already spent on that hussy to protect her, just take that money and go to a homeless dude and buy him some new clothes and buy him a haircut and say, hey, I'll get you a job. I'll work with you to get you a job. You'd have a much better chance with that. What's up, Mr. Smith? Asked what McGee first, then complained that man abused her. Yeah. So let me read this because I skimmed through this a while back and I don't remember what the fuck. Hang on. Let me see if I can, because I'm gonna lose Hang on, if I make this smaller, and I'm gonna have to resize it, I think. Oh no, it stayed the same. No, it is. It just shortened because I can't see. Hang on. Is that? Yeah, that's good enough. Yo, thanks for that dollar, man. Appreciate it. So, a woman claiming to be a former sex worker. Oh yeah, hussy. Has spoken out having to deal with human traffickers in Dubai, the same city where model Maria, okay, it was a different one, was found bloodied and bruised earlier this week. It comes after an adult performer who disappeared after going to a Dubai hotel party with two men from the modeling business was discovered abandoned by a roadside, suffering from broken limbs and a damaged spine. Yeah, they out there going to town on them. Maria, whatever the fuck, 20, has informed her mates about being asked to join a notorious porta potty party at a hotel on March 9th. Yet she was declared missing post her no show for the scheduled Dubai to Thailand flight on March 11th. Yeah, looks terrible. In a horrifying turn, she was eventually found March 19th with her spine, arms, and legs broken by a Dubai road a whole 10 days since she vanished. In a Reddit thread, a different woman shared her experience of being a sex worker in Dubai, highlighted some dangers she faced with human traffickers. The unnamed woman wrote on Reddit, I was contacted by human traffickers. I have a bachelor's in psychology, and they said I would be working with a massage therapist. Okay, at that point, you pretty much deserve to get whatever you got coming to you. You have you having a bachelor's degree in psychology. A bachelor's degree in psychology. Like that's the joke right there, first off. That's the joke right there. A bachelor's in psychology. Just I have a bachelor's in psychology. Said I would be working with a massage therapist. I had enough smarts to guess it meant prostitution, which I asked and they confirmed. She added they weren't too nice to me or any of the other women, but they didn't look the gangster sort. Yeah, they looked like they had some money. That's what she really means. That's why she entertained it. They look like they either had money or power. That's why she entertained it as long as she did. It is important to note, whatever her name is, herself is an adult performer rather than a sex worker. These are the same thing, bruh. Stop trying to hide it. Adult performer is a sex worker. Just accept it. It was feared the Ukrainian bombshell had been badly treated at the so-called porta potty party. This party, whatever the fuck went, the type she believed involved participants being paid large sums of money to perform disgusting and sexual acts, according to the Sun. Attendees can allegedly be asked to carry out revolting acts in front of or on other guests, with social media reports suggesting it involves human feces and bizarre fetishes. Yeah, they're gonna humiliate the shit out of them, literally. Yeah, I mean, like, she ain't really. I mean. Well, that's subjective. I won't go into that. The CEO of the detained in Dubai previously told the Mirror that influencers and artists have approached the organization claiming they were enticed to parties where they were expecting to engage in sexual activities. The organization offers confidential legal assistance. Blah blah blah. Yeah, this is a waste of time. This comment say, yeah, she wasn't forced into it. She did it for the money. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a bunch, yeah. So, like I said, the mind of woman is abuse is always okay as long as it could potentially raise her career. It's always okay. Well, I don't say always, but generally you're pretty safe. Which is fucked up. Well, and to be fair, psychology, man, like a bachelor's in psychology, you're not really gonna learn. Like, okay, A bachelor in psychology is literally fucking worthless. And for somebody probably does have a bachelor's in psychology, a bachelor's in psychology is worthless. You have to be okay for psychology. You just have to go to the doctorate route because all the other degrees are generally going to have you being somebody's fucking assistant for your entire life. You're not at best if you can even find a job. At absolute best, you're going to be playing assistant your whole life. You're never going to actually work independently with a master's in psychology. Definitely a bachelor's. Okay, I will say this, which that sounds about right for Reddit. Because Reddit tends to get not the generally not the best specimens in there. That's why I say stay out of it. um, a bachelor's degree in psychology is about the equivalent of an associate's degree in pretty much any other field. Like you literally can't do anything with just that. Like I'd say it's about equivalent to a high school degree, high school diploma / associate's degree. It's in psychology. You're about down there. Like I said, my associate was in biotechnology, and like everybody who I knew in the STEM field there and at university, we all had jobs within the first month. Right, we were like pumping within the first month we finished. What's up, Puck Plays? What's up, Sony Rex? But yeah. Oh no. Well, to be fair, maybe times have changed. I'll say that maybe times have changed. Maybe times with a bachelor's in psychology, maybe something's opened up, and I just don't know. But usually, to work in any kind of field that could potentially change or harm someone, you usually have to become licensed, unless it's like a STEM field. Most STEM fields you can just get the degree, but fields that are like like working in law or working in with humans on a deep work given the orders to work with humans kind of thing like that on an independent level. You usually have to be licensed to do that. You have to get some kind of I'm sorry, not city, but some type of state in the U.S. some type of state licensure. And you are not going to get a state license unless things have changed. But I'm fairly certain there is just no way you get a state licensure with a bachelor's degree in psychology, right? To work in any way, shape, or form independent as a psychologist. You just can't do it. Well, things could have changed. I'll keep throwing that out. Things could have possibly changed. Now, my field requires licensure. But it also requires at least a master's degree. What's this? I thought this was gonna be the porta potty party. Let's Google that. Models lured. They were lured. don't you love don't you love the immediate like protection of hussies? They were lured. They lured them to sick porta potty parties by men lavishing them with gifts. Yeah, just like Leonardo DiCaprio is luring young girls in there because the girls don't want to go at all, but they're tricked beyond their comprehension, and they're forced to perform for these evil men. Yeah. This is sad. I don't think much of it. Wait, in her video, she explained how she had been leaving the gym when workers approached her with a gift from someone she had met on a treadmill. I didn't think much of it. She's been okay. A worker handed her a bouquet of flowers and chocolate from the man and struck with conversation. Flattered, she texted the number he had left, thanking him, which she received a call from blah blah blah. Very curious. Are they going into it right here? What about yeah? She was found dumped roadside in Dubai, suffering from. She's got to learn. I'm laughing because look again, like I said earlier, I'm laughing because she knew what she okay. Okay. I'm laughing because if that same dude had been just like a regular ass working level guy in her home country, who you know what I mean and all that, she wouldn't have been curious and called the numbers. She wouldn't have done any of that shit. Like, let me just be real about it. Like, she's not doing any of that at all. That's why I think it's funny. They found her beat up. Well, I can't do nothing about that. That's just woman's brain. She's got to go out there and get her fucking ass beat by either a man or the world before it's hey, beauty's on the inside. We should all fight for blah 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 blah. That's when all that's gonna come out. And see, like I said, was it 2 weeks ago? You never see beautiful women talking about, hey, yeah, beauty's on the inside. We all need to fight for equality and beauty standards. And you never see her. It's never those women saying any of that. Never. It's just never young, beautiful women saying anything like that. It's always the fucked up ones. What was that line in American Psycho? If she's hot, she's not nice, and if she's nice, she's not hot. And that line will always be true. Even if the woman ends up in a situation where she is now hot, right? There's a chance. Now, some women do kind of hold on to that trauma from, when they used to be fat and fucked up and all that. But like, some women do hold, and I've known some personally who did. I remember one girl, when I was actually doing my biotech degree. I almost said her name. Because her name, and I said the name and degree, so it's probably easy to find her off of that. But she used to be this one girl in my biotech, because we were like a class, and you had to pass every course, and if you failed, you had to wait a whole year to retake that course. So you would essentially you would inevitably just be stuck in like one class of people, so everybody knew each other, right? And she was always real big, right? And she was like that gothic. She always dressed like in like those gothic punk clothes and shit, and makeup and all that. And her friend was always like this little skinny, cute girl, right? And they were friends. She looked a little weird in the face, but they were friends. She was cool too. They both of them. I didn't have a problem with either one of them. Well, I think I told this story before. When I went back to the U.S. one time, I was at a bar down in this place called Oregon District, and I hear the voice saying, "Hey, Wendell," and I was thinking like, that's the fat girl's voice, but I don't see a fat bitch. Like, I'm looking around like, I was holding a blue moon. I was holding a blue moon. I was looking around like, I know that voice, but I don't see the body that usually goes with the voice. And she was standing right in front of it. It was like one of the movie scenes that are like comedy. Like it's like it was one of those movie scenes that's literally so corny and cheesy of comedy that you can't even laugh at it. But it happened to me, right? She was standing like she was right in front of me. I was like, oh, hey. And she completely, all the weight was gone. And we got to talking. She told me that she got the gastric bypass surgery. And she changed into a hot girl. Like, she was a hot girl underneath all that. Her face shape had come back to that, that dime. You could see her chin structure. And she was good. She's real. I showed my spouse her on Facebook, because I'm friends with her on Facebook. And she's taking pictures, and now she's got 1,000 selfies with her with different types of makeup and hair going, and all. And I'm thinking like, look, if a guy just met her now, like, he would have no idea that she used to be a fat fucking whale. You know what I mean? Like, because like I couldn't have sex with her. I can't even see her like that because I always see her how she used to look. So like, I don't think I could ever really, get with her sexually. I just have that memory of what she used to be. But then the weird part was her friend, who was skinny. I looked her up on Facebook, and she got fat. She got because I was holding my phone just like this with my spouse, right? We was in the kitchen at the table, And I said, look, that's her. And I went, like my head shook, like out of like complete, I was like literally scared because I was not expecting her friend to have gotten. So I said, like, so both of them had changed places. Like the fat one got skinny and the skinny one got fat. But yeah, so that, but to be fair, she did stay pretty much herself, like in interpersonal talking. Maybe it was just because she knows that I know what she was before. Maybe that got me through that. Maybe she could be different in the world. I don't know. But with that, I'm gonna segue to this with online dating. I watched this earlier today. And I think it's sad. I think dating, I think online, somebody has to come out. Let me see if this is working now. Somebody has to come out and make, oh, there, it just popped up. Okay, cool. Somebody really needs to come out. Uh-oh. What does it do? Okay. There needs to be a complete normalization about the reality of of where and how people are going to date and meet people, right? Like I've always said before, I've never been a fan of online dating, mostly because for women, like that's usually going to be the dumpster fire of women, right? Now, guys are always going to have a hard problem. That's just how, it's just the nature of being a guy. Guys are the majority of men will always have issues with online dating and face complete failure and rejection time and time again. It's just how it is, right? But by the time a woman has to go to online dating, that is, dude, like by the time a woman has seriously considered and then goes through with making an online dating profile, something is extremely fucked up about her. Because if she was normal and all right and visually acceptable and all that, she'd have no problem in the world finding, she's going to clubs, she's going out, she's meeting people, she's getting approached by different guys. You know, by the time a woman, okay, if a woman was genuinely decent and all right, she wouldn't have time to make an online dating profile. Except for the very rare scenarios where like maybe she's working like super odd hours or something like that. And she's just, sleeping all day. I guess maybe she's working like third shift and she sleeps all day, right? Something like this, right? That's acceptable. Maybe she's like, I don't know, a security guard at night or something like that. And then she sleeps all day, something like that. But those aren't going to be many, a decent percentage of women. Most women are going to work, are not going to work jobs like that because it's not comfortable. But by the time a woman hits the dating market, she is at maximum. I would say at max in a real world setting. By the time a woman has to go to online dating, she is officially at maximum a 5.5 in the dating market for one reason or another. At minimum, I'm sorry, at maximum. At absolute maximum, she is automatic by AD's standards, by AD's laws of dating. I should make another book. AD's laws of dating. By the time a woman has succumbed to have to create an online dating profile, she is, for whatever reason, at maximum a 5.5 out of 10 in the real world, for whatever reason. She could be good looking, but she could have like 8 kids or be a terrible alcoholic or just a terrible person or, just whatever, right? Because if a woman is a 6 and above, she's going to go and end up finding somebody in the real world. If she's a 6 and above, she's not going to have much problem in the real world. It's once they start going below 6s is when the problems start to creep up. Right, and they usually end up becoming insurmountable because most women never ever actually become better people. Women always just go down. Most women you're gonna meet in your life, they'll consistently just keep going down and down and down for whatever. Women very rarely Very rare. It does happen, but it's very rare where they will genuinely go up. But it does happen. I'm thinking of Catherine Keener right now. She was one woman who got actually. I think she got more attractive as she got older, for what she is. In her world of attractiveness, she went up. It's not common, but it does happen. But yo, okay, Ivy Bolt, cool man. I'm glad to hear from you. You want to be me, Sonny? What's up, Bawad? Bawad? I don't know how you pronounce it. But but yeah, by the time, but the fucked up part about when women hit the dating market, when they hit the online dating scene, it's it ends up fucking up many guys' perspectives of themselves because okay, let me look this up real fast just so I can start out. Uh, Okay, so let's just use this stat right here. It says 56% of online dating users are men, while 39% are women. 80. So what the other what that math ain't equal. Okay, maybe it's like a point something percent or something like that. So let's just say 55%. Let's just say 60. It's 60-40. Let's just simplify it. Let's just say it's 60% are men, 40% are women. Right. So then you'll have your occurrences where like there was a woman who went on there and then she found a man and got her immediately off and just never completely deleted her profile. So her profile's like you have a lot of that going on too. So of that 40% of women on there, I would venture to say of the 40% of women that stat says or that the AI just said, from there I would say about 30% are actually on there, and of that 30%, I would say 10% are actually active on a daily basis. I would say 10% um, out of that 40% are actually active. Because like I said, you're gonna have a lot of them. They got on there, they found a guy either there or somewhere in real life, and they just deleted the app, but didn't actually delete the profile. Right, so the profile is just existing. Right? So you're swiping right in the profile. This bitch ain't logged in 3 years. All right. All right. See, it's these little areas where online dating will fuck with your head if you don't think it all the way through. Right. Um, um, and then on top of that, so let's say, like I said, the other 20%, they may not just check it. They may not even really check it often, or they'd only check it when they get drunk on a Friday night and they're alone or something like that. So they're not really into it. They're just doing it when they're bored, just to get attention or something like that, right? So the only ones I would say, like I said, I would say in reality it's probably 90 to 10, 90 versus 10%. In full reality of actual active users in online dating, it's probably 90% men, 10% or less of women, off of sheer logic, off sheer sociological logic. I'd say probably 90-10. Now, that 10% that are women are usually the reason why they're constantly hunting in online dating is because they're too fucked up to find people in real life. Right. So like I said, you got fives on there that are making up the vast majority of active users in online dating. Right. Now, that 10% of women. Okay, let's switch to the iPad. Right. Let's do this. Okay. You guys see this? All right. So let's do 90%. Oh wait, you can't see that. 90%. 10%, right? Okay, so now of this, right? These women are usually going to be, like I said, at absolute max 5 out of 10s, right? Because they simply have to be this because they're engaging with online dating from the start. Okay. Okay. Is it okay? Maybe to use a different way, a different perspective. Okay. It's like saying like you're only going to go to the hospital when you're fucked up, right? Something's fucked up with you or about you, or something with you or in your life is fucked up. That's the only reason why you're going to go to a hospital. The vast majority of people. Now, you're going to have some cases where maybe somebody's looking for an internship or something like that. You'll find some cases like that. But the overall general population of people that go to a hospital are there because they're fucked up, right? It's the same thing with women in online dating. The only reason why they're ever engaging in online dating from the start is because they're fucked up. Something's wrong with them, right? Now, men, on the man side, it could be anywhere from 1 to 10 out of 10. It could be anywhere in that. Men don't care about these things, right? It could be anywhere in that. But the thing is, since they are 90%, they're all of these guys are now fighting over 10% of women that are fives. So now the women have all, well, let's do have 100% freedom of choice, right? They just, their inbox, their matches are filled. They have all, just look at the numbers alone. Their matches they've got too many options to at least start to entertain, right? And if they entertain one, well, they could just go find another one. The women are now, these 5 out of 10s who are not used, they're not used to this level of attention on it. That's why they had to go to online dating in the first place. These women who are 5 out of 10s now have 100% freedom of choice of guys. These women who are literally losers in the real world are now in an environment through a swipe on their phone. They are now in an environment where they are highly sought after. At least initially. It's more than they were getting in the real world, right? So what is that doing to their heads? Now they're getting their heads hyped, like, oh, well, I got standards and all that. So and I'm sure most guys already know this. Now you have 2s and 3s and 4s with fucking attitudes. See, I miss the good old days when Tyra Banks called. Let me see if I can find that video real fast. Let me see if I can find this video. I miss these good old days where Tyra Banks called this woman fat. I miss it. See, these were the days. Let me see if I can find it. Calls model chubby. She called her chubby. Now this was old. This was before 2007. I can't find it. Maybe they took it down because she got ashamed of it or something. But there was a clip where it was like they were doing a modeling show, and those were the days when like Homer Simpson was considered fat, right? So like motherfuckers did not hesitate to call women fat back in those years, right? It just wasn't even a hesitation, right? Like you just say it out loud. But you know what? Women were far more humbled back then. This whole like attitude and I need to find somebody who fits my requirements and all that. No, bro. Like your requirements are done. You don't have space to talk about requirements anymore. You done fucked up too much. There was a woman I found. Let me see if I can find her on Instagram. I think I saved it. You know how they say somebody's your spirit animal? This bitch is my spirit animal. Let me see if I can find her. She was like, when you get fat, just shut the fuck up. So I can find it. Hang on. Here it is. Here it is. I just found it. Make sure the audio's up. I'm gonna play the audio. Oh, wait.
First, we gotta talk about fat broads. There's nothing worse than a fat chick who's got a fucking attitude, okay?
I'm not gonna be here. I'm checking out. I'm not staying here. I refuse. I'm not staying here again.
Ma'am, if it's your decision not to stay, I mean, you will not be able to get the extra day refund also.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're gonna go through it. They're gonna just show an example.
Because there's no point in staying again when you guys are just stealing my money at this.
First, we gotta talk about fat broads. There's nothing worse than a fat chick who's got a fucking attitude, okay? I gained 5 pounds and I'm humble pie. I am fucking eating crow 24/7. I am humble pie. Last thing you're gonna catch me doing is talking with some attitude and being annoying. When I'm thin, I have a little bit more right to do that. If you're fat, shut the fuck up, please. I've always said this. Sometimes you'll see a super obese person, and sometimes they're like the sweetest person ever. And so you're like, wow, you're a really sweet person, and it kind of distracts you from the fact that they're a whale. But then when you see these fat people, and they have this attitude, because it's almost like, I'm fat, what are you going to do about it? You better not notice. You know what I mean? They have like a massive attitude. It makes them 20,000 times more ugly. So fat people, shut the fuck up. Shut the...
I'm not saying it's fat people in general, but like, because I don't really care about fat people in general like that. But I'm saying like, with the situation of what I'm going to go into this video that I'm probably going to get copyrighted from. Well, I'm sure I am. But because they going into online dating, right? And like, these are women that are not fucking beauty models or anything like that, right? It's like, you know, I'm looking for love and I don't know how come I can't find love and all this. Like, it was so much easier why was it so much easier literally 20 years ago? Not because the excuse that most women will use, oh, well, that was back in the 40s when men could hit women. No, this was like 25 years ago. Why was women finding men so much easier 25 years ago before online dating? Why were there more relationships 25 years ago? Why were there so many more relationships, marriages, families, families that had more effort to stick together 20 to 25 years ago, before online dating was normalized? Why was that? Because men did not turn into pussies. That internet destroyed women. Kevin, what's up, Kevin? Yo, 80. What do you think is worse, a beta who turns into an alpha, or an alpha who turns into a beta? An alpha who turns into a beta. An alpha for sure. And an alpha who turns. The reason why I say the latter is because every time I've tended to see that happen. I don't consider myself an alpha guy or anything. I don't know what the fuck I am. But every time I've seen like that type of guy fuck around and make a misstep and turn into a chump, like I've never seen one fully bounce back off that shit. Like, they're always like a little feminized and like and fragile after that. Like, I've never seen one fully bounce back. And I was always bouncing in and out of hoods when I was young. I was living in the suburbs, and I would go to the hood literally every summer. And my brother is one of them borderline hood guys, right? I've never seen a guy when he falls, like, for example, like when you go around a lot of hoods, one thing you also find is that there's a and this is the part that people don't talk about in rap songs and all this. See, a lot of those guys who are like alphas in the hood and all that, well, the part that they don't tell you is a lot of times these guys are just, they'll impregnate random women that, you know, that way they know they'll always have a place to go sleep, you know, because once a woman has a child with you, she'll always be, you know, as long as you don't turn too pathetic, she'll always fuck with you after that. on some level, right? So in the hood, in these hoods, a lot of guys would just, that's literally the game plan. They go around and they just fuck any woman they can, any women they can find, and spread them out in the city. That way they always have a place to go back and sleep, in case of emergency, stuff like that. Um, but also what happens is a lot of guys has a lot of these women, they slip up and they end up letting the women completely house them. Right. And I think that's where a lot of guys, that's where most men that I can think off the top of my head, that's where most guys usually completely horrifically fuck up, is they fuck around and let the woman completely house them. Because all that, okay, I don't care what kind of game you have, what swagger you have, at some point it's going to get to the point, okay, unless you just leave first, she's going to get tired of you and kick you out. Right? It's going to happen. I don't care what kind of game you have, what y'all doing together. At some point, a woman is going to crave a guy who does not have to live up underneath her. Right? Even here's the thing. It's so deep. It goes down to your own mother, dude. Like, your mother doesn't want a grown man living with her, unless she can turn him into, like, some weird way, like turn him into the father that turn him into turn the boy into the man that she couldn't keep, or some shit like that. She'll try to morph him into that. You know what I mean? Or just have psychological issues from, in another area. But deep down, like, every woman craves a man who's better than her, or who can literally just survive on his own. Every woman craves a man who doesn't need her. Every single woman. Well, I won't say every single woman. There are cases where some women genuinely like to go to work and bring the money home for the man. That does happen too. I've seen that. But I wouldn't count on that. The only and to be fair, the only way I've ever seen that work is if the man is always causing some type of fight at home. If you want to keep a woman, always, and this is another thing I've also noticed. I just thought about this. If you want to keep a woman, you have to constantly, always start some fight with her. Start a fight with her. And she's not going to leave. Right. The reason why it goes back to what I was saying like a long time ago, there is not a woman on earth who will leave you. Okay, there is not a woman on earth who will leave you if she knows that your life will be better without her. A woman's brain literally cannot compute that. If she knows your life is going to be happier and smoother without her in it, she will never leave. Every time, think back, every man in here, think back to when a woman left you. When did she leave you? I'll tell you when she left you. She left you when she knew you'd be destroyed. She knew you was going to be hurt, heartbroken, and all that. That's when she left. She didn't leave when you were just tired of her and you just didn't want to talk to her anymore, so you disappeared for a week or two. She ain't going nowhere. At that point, if she know you getting ready to be happier without her in there, she can't. They're just not programmed like that. It's in them. The only time they leave is when they know you're going to be destroyed. So when you start a fight with them, that's saying indirectly, my life would be better without you in it. And she can't have that. Right? But if you're not starting fights with her, everything must be good because she's there. Right? If y'all ain't getting into fights or arguments and all that, everything's good. Right? So what does that mean? Your life more than likely isn't going to get better if she leaves, right? Because everything was good and happy because she's there. Women crave it. They crave it. Like I was telling my friend, you got to treat them like shit. That's the only way to get them. That's the only option you have. Facts. If a woman knows you don't give a fuck, she can't get enough. Yeah. What's up, Orlando? So yeah. So this video, real quick. First, I'm just gonna go to the women that they're talking to. See, this is who we're talking to in online dating, and they can't find. Where was the other one? Oh, this ain't even the same one. No, I'm tripping. In fact, but I can tell by her humility, she's done something. No, wait, this is the same one. But where's the? Trying to find out. Fuck. Hang on, let me see if I can find it in my phone. Oh, here it is. The sinister side. That wasn't the right video. Here it is. This is the one. Yeah. See this. See, like, see that? See, and I'm not trying to say this to make fun of her, because, you know, people get fat, whatever, right? But, like, the amount of pickiness and all that shit, and men are so fucked up. They're like, see, look, okay, see, look, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not gonna say this to be mean. I'm only saying it from the reality of what life was like before men allowed themselves to become big ass pussies, right? People would have laughed. She would have been too embarrassed to even put a picture like that up on social media back in the day, right? Like that would have she would have been too embarrassed to even show. She would have been too embarrassed years ago. She just would have been embarrassed. She would not. She would never have gone on TV talking like this. In any well, okay, well she it was fucked up because some dude like beat her up and raped her, right? Which is fucked up. She said in the video, she goes on about how she, you know, she ended up talking to one guy, and the guy ended up raping her off of Tinder, right? And see, these things. Okay, first I'll tell you what. First off, let's do. Okay, so just okay, okay. Let's say like okay, 20 years ago, a dude like him would not. Okay, 20 years ago, that same dude would have never even approached a girl like that. Right? He would have been too embarrassed to even talk to that. So the reality of it is like you have these women who are like in all honesty, they're at absolute best a 5 out of 10, right? They're shooting way out their goddamn league, right? And then they're shocked when the guys are like, you know, mentally fucked up, because now you got all these frustrated men who can't get sex because everybody's on their phone now. Everybody's lost the ability to approach. You've had all these men be raised by single mothers and these guys have no idea how to have courage in the world because they're raised by women, right? This is literally let's go back to the drawing board. This is a recipe for disaster. So I'm going to explain exactly. This is a recipe. This is a modern day recipe for disaster. So you have men raised by women, right? This is the number one disaster, right? The reason why I say this is because this severely has an impact on courage. Well, all this could really be summed up by courage, but gumption, uh, ambition, all these are seriously impacted by this. And you have an entire wave, an entire generation that's either being raised by women or being influenced by women, which in turn takes away all of this, which ends up making them women. Right? Now they're angry, they're mad, they're frustrated because these guys cannot get sex, right? Because now they become feminized. They're scared of rejection, they're scared of this and that because they become women. But there's still men on the inside. And in the exchange, the women turned into men. They're the ones talking out loud and telling motherfuckers, shut the fuck up. I know you ain't talking. I got standards and all this. So I bought a house and car. And now the women walking around turn into men. Right? But there's still the women have turned into men, but there's still women on the inside. And the men have turned into women, but there's still men on the inside. Right? Now, in that form, it's equal. Now, where equality completely gets shattered, again, like I said, maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, it's a matter of time before these men will eventually say fuck it, and they just gonna start beating up and raping bitches. Even the most nicest simps are gonna say fuck it, dude. Like, I'm still a man. It's like what the modern day woman, especially in Westerner countries, what the modern day women are doing to men is they're the exact equivalent is trying to turn a mountain lion into a house pet. Right? You can probably get a mountain lion to be all right for a little while if you train him. You might just roar a little bit more. I don't know if mountain lions roar or not, but I mean just roar a little more quiet. You scared me, and the motherfucker up some roar. You know what I mean? And he'll play along because he thinks, oh well, she'll still let me be a lion at some point if I just keep playing along and keep my roars to a low roar, right? She might let me fuck around and be a mountain lion, what I really am this whole time. If I just keep playing along, girl, roar. You know what I'm saying? He'll play along, but the mountain lion's only gonna do that for so long. The mountain lion is only gonna play around like that with the woman for so long until that mountain lion is gonna finally be fed up with it. And see, that's how bitches are. That's how more and more women get ready to get date raped, beat up, raped, drugged, all that. See, because all that frustration's coming out because you done beat the men down too badly. And I said this a while back on my channel. See, I feel sorry for both sides. I really do. I feel sorry for both sides. Like what Alfred said in Batman when Batman was trying to figure out who the Joker was, and he says, well, you beat and bullied them into submission, and in their fear they turned to somebody they didn't really understand, right? They turned to chaos because you beat them up too bad. So all the people that Batman had beat up in the Dark Knight, they turned to the Joker because the Joker was just chaos, that made sense of all of it. Right. And that's what women are doing. All this always trying to, taking advantage of societal norms or manipulating societal norms. Just online dating, just completely annihilating men. You're beating the men up too badly. I don't wish women to get beat up or raped, but that's what's getting like it's gonna this situation. With her, go watch the video. This situation is gonna happen a lot more, unless there's gonna be guys who just get unless there's a huge advancement in sex dolls or something like that, where they can be like walking androids and all that shit like that. Unless there's gonna be something like that, these scenarios, and like these scenarios are going to happen a lot more. Now, the reason why I feel sorry for women in this is because, okay, the reason why, let me, where'd that other picture go where she was sitting down with him? Where was it? Look at this. See, this is what motherfuckers look. Anyway, so she gets with this dude, right? And I'm not saying this to be me. I'm saying this as a case study on the world, in the Western world, because she was sitting down with him. I can't find. Okay, yeah. Well, look, there is always the reason why I feel sorry for women is because women really can't handle independence, because every time they do, whatever they end up leading ends up destroyed. Look at it throughout the history of mankind. There is very rare scenarios where women were truly put in charge of something that was not selling pussy and ended up succeeding in it. You will have a very difficult time finding that in human history on any consistent basis. And I feel sorry for women because, like I said, I'm not here to spread hate. I'm only stating fact. Okay. You might find one-offs here or there, but you will never find throughout human history where women were put in charge of anything outside of selling pussy and it consistently succeeded. It's just not there. Right? So that tells me it's not in the in the human female species to have that trait on a consistent level. Right? So, but at the same time, they're so busy, the women are so busy, trying to compete with men after technology was developed so they could keep up with men, that they genuinely are believe that they can adopt it, that they can run their own vaginas in the world, right? Now, I'm not saying men are entitled to women vaginas, but women do horrible jobs with running anything, right? So now in the midst of all this confusion, there's always going to be some dude who's just down on his luck. He can't find a date. He's been swiping. He swiped right on Tinder 3 million times in the last 2 months. There's always going to be guys like that sitting around waiting for her. Right? Because here's the thing. There is no woman who could sit here in an argument and tell you that I'm lying or I'm just saying something, hatred or anything like that. I mean, they could probably like manipulate it to make it sound like I'm hating, but there is no woman that can tell you that I'm lying about anything. If anything, she could probably elaborate more on it. Right? Right. But the sad part is women will inevitably never grow because no matter how bad she ends up, no matter what she does in the world, there is always somebody who's just going to be down on their luck, be extremely horny, be depressed, see their mother in her, whatever, and she can always the woman's mind can always ride off, and she can always ride off into the sunset with, well, I'm a woman, I can get away with that. And that's why women historically have never collectively grown. Because they can always just default back. And I truly feel sorry for women because of that handicap they have. Because of their mentality and what they're born as. Like they will never ever, they'll never get out of it. They can't. And actually last night, I was talking with a female friend of mine, right? Last night I was talking to a female friend of mine because we were talking about going to France. And we was talking about the immigrants and all that. And then she starts going on, because she's European. She was going on about, countries where they like raping, the immigrants are raping women and they get in trouble for it and all that. And I said, well, I mean, like, because she knows how I talk. She knows I've known her for years since I first came here. And so she knows how I talk. And I was saying, I mean, well, if you look at the reality of it, when immigrants are coming to to richer countries, like rape is going to be, Rape is going to be an inevitable part of that. The reason why I said that is because historically, men are going to be the ones who are going to go out and develop, create, bring back resources, right? So that tells you right there, right off the bat, that it's good that most of the immigrants are generally going to be men, because women are going to do what women do. They're going to sit down wherever they are and wait for the men to go out there and develop something, and then the women will come out and pick the winners, right? So when you have these immigrants, they're coming here by boat, whatever the fuck, snuck into the country in cars or whatever. It's usually going to be mostly men. That's just basic logic right there. Women are just too cowardly. Women have historically been too cowardly to do anything of any value, right? So it's going to be men, right? Well, these men have left their home country, so they're fucked up about that. They left these immigrants who are raping women in Norway, whatever the fuck like that. Really think about the reality of the situation, and it's setting that okay. These men left their home country, so they're fucked up because they left their home, they left their everything they've known, they left their food, their friends, the laughter, the hanging out, the familiarity of where they come from. They left that. They're in a country they don't know where they are. Okay, if they're lucky, they can speak the language, but don't be surprised if they don't. They don't have any money. They're coming there essentially homeless. They're frustrated. Good luck finding a job. So now they're sitting around bored, angry, frustrated, lonely, sad, depressed, anxious. What's going to happen tomorrow? Are they going to get sent back? Whatever the fuck, right? So now these immigrants are sitting around with nothing to do, right? So it's a matter of time before they start drinking, getting into drugs, getting into fights, because they have nothing to do. They're going to start getting horny. Well, guess what? The women in the richer country, it's woman's nature. Most women are not going to want to go deal with a poor immigrant, because that's not in woman's nature. Again, woman only goes up. She never goes down. So the guys are walking around getting mad and frustrated, and that's how rapes are going to happen. They're going to start raping. It just is what it is. Right? I'm not saying I advocate it, but that because of woman's nature, that's going to happen. Now, on the flip side, let's say if like a whole boat of like women came from like wherever the fuck, right? Let's say a whole boat of women, of female illegal immigrants come in, right? There'll be guys lined up to go take them off the street. That's pussy. It is what it is, right? See, those rapes happening, these rapes happening in these immigrant countries, that's woman's nature adding on to the frustration of immigration. Like I said, now, which sounds fucked up, but again, whenever something sounds fucked up, reverse the roles and see what you think about it. Let's say instead of it men coming to the country, how would society respond if it was, let's say if 300 immigrants snuck in on a boat through Greece, right? And it was 300 men, right? Them men are going to be left to die in the streets of Greece, son. They going to have a hard time finding asylum and all that shit, right? Now, let's say 300 women come in on a boat to Greece. The women going to get snatched up in a few months. Those women will be either, within 3 months, them 300 women will either be living with some men and sucking dick for rent, or the ones who couldn't make it sucking dick for rent, they're gonna be living off the government welfare. Right? Well, I'm not gonna say right, but you see where this is headed. See, so why doesn't that work the other way around? It doesn't work the other way around because woman's nature causes it adds to that frustration. And I know what you're saying. Oh, well, those women are, abused, whatever. No. I don't. No. Let's say if it was 300 women who came there and they get what they got, blah, blah, blah. You know what we call that? We call that a husband and wife. Because people love to focus. Because whenever you flip it, right? Because we all know women will just go suck dick for survival. When buttons get pushed and shit gets hard, women will either seek out simps or just flat out suck dick to survive. It's in women's DNA, and I'm not saying it's to be mean. It is what it is, right? It just is what it is. But people love to focus on women. People love to immediately victimize women, right? And so the next level up is like the passport bro thing, right? The next level, oh well, you went to a poor country and you got with a poor woman and blah 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 blah, blah, right? Now, that logic could hold up if it wasn't for even in richer countries with richer men and richer women, women still do the same exact thing. They still go up to the higher man if given the option, right? It's a sad situation. Women are going to wait for men to go to Mars. Then, when it's safe, they will come and begin demanding access to everything. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're gonna sit and wait for men to go to Mars and the moon, and I mean, you'll always find one or two that is genuinely an interesting woman, but most women are just not built. Most women are built to sit down and wait for men to go out there and build something, and then after it's built, go in there and be like, yeah, this is mine now. Why? Because I sucked your dick. That's why it's mine. Like. Like woman psychology is like so sick. Like here's I and I'm not saying this to hate women, but like it sounds hateful. But woman psychology, I strongly believe, is so sick. I think this is why it never gets pushed to focus on in any type of formal setting. Because once it becomes like thoroughly clear, it makes men's sicknesses not seem so bad, or sicknesses not seem so bad, right? Because we can always go to like, I remember when I was studying, when I did study psychology while I was working on my undergrad, because I would just take the classes for fun because I genuinely was interested in it. Like I remember they had like pictures of measurements. No, I actually went and studied this on my own personally. I looked up the laws of attractiveness, and you can find how this stuff wasn't common. This wasn't it wasn't easy to find back in these years. This was 15 years ago I was doing this. Now you can just go find it like that. Just Google it, go find it. But back then it was hard to find this stuff. And I remember I found the laws of attraction where they had like, a woman's face who was considered attractive, and they literally measured out like the distance of the eyes, like the eyes themselves, distance from the eyes from the side of the face, difference from the eyes to the cheek. And and they had it measured. And then they put like a real woman's face over it. So yeah, this is an attractive woman. This isn't. And then they went to like the body structure. Back then it said like the hip to waist ratio had to be like 0.7. Like the waist had to be here and the hips had to be here. Like, but this information was hard to find back in these years. You couldn't just, stumble across it. Nobody even gave it much. Nobody put any emphasis on it. But again, they did some studies with male faces, but mostly was focused on the women's faces. And it was almost done like in a subtle way to like thoroughly explain why men pick partners. But whenever you would flip the page to see how women pick partners, they would never really dive too deep into that. It would always be, they was want a partner with, they would phrase it resources, not money, but resources. Almost like, and they would use a term, I remember they would use the term resources almost in a way to like soften the blow of not saying like women don't like poor people, right? Like again, to immediately accept the women for their choices, but the men's choices were just literally off basic measurements of the face and the hip to waist ratio, these kind of things, and like almost subconsciously, almost in a subtle way, trying to tell you that men were like terrible for being superficial, whereas women just want to survive, kind of thing, right? And like but luckily as time went on with online dating, it became real clear to just like thoroughly be able to see what women were actually doing, what they were going after, what they were expecting. And then now with Instagram, now women will just flat out say they want a guy who makes this amount of money, this and that. And now they're just so openly telling on themselves now, right? And now I think now we're in a period of time now where it's coming time where men are getting to the point where they're tired of playing like they're a house pet for crumbs of pussy. Like I said earlier, for anybody who maybe just tuned in, see, especially in the West, women have beaten men down so bad that they essentially tried to turn a lion into a house pet. Right? Well, that's what they did. They turned him into a house pet, and thinking they could just two get along like that. And it would just they're telling the lion, yeah, just don't roar so loud. Don't be a lion, bro. Like, don't be a lion. And the male lion, and in the lion in the house, he's gonna keep trying to pretend like he's not a lion and pretend he's just a regular dog, because he's thinking, oh well, if I just pretend I'm a dog, she'll see the light and she'll let me, go to town on her pussy, right? Go to town on her holes, right? So I'll keep playing like I'm a dog, even though I know I'm a lion. I'm gonna keep acting like I'm a dog because I'm holding out hope that she's gonna see the effort I put into pretending like I'm a dog to so she'll love me for that, right? And I think right now we're officially getting to the point where it's going to start backfiring. Like the lions are going, no, but I'm a fucking lion, dude. Get the fuck away from me. Or I'm a lion, and just bite the bitch head off. Like, the fuck you thought? I ain't no fucking cocker spaniel. I'm a motherfucking king of the jungle. And just take bitches and go, bite their fucking heads off, right? They're going to retaliate. And I feel sorry for women because there's nothing women can really do except hope that there's some men who are still in that mindset of protecting all women, because that's the only protection women have in all this, is hoping there's a bigger man that'll protect them, right? And I feel sorry for women. I don't want any woman to be hurt or anything. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I'm only acknowledging the reality of the dynamics. It's going to happen. Just like this woman, she ended up getting raped on dinner. I'm not surprised. I don't want any woman to get raped. I don't want any woman to get beat, raped, hurt, or anything. But with how things turned out, like, this shit's inevitable. And I said this probably about a year ago. I said this. It's gonna, even the biggest simps can only be pushed so hard, and they're gonna take it out somewhere. So every time women that they getting on this whole having these fucking attitudes and and all this, and then down talking men on the internet. Every time you see a sitcom, the man's made to be a complete buffoon and the woman's smart. Any type of movie or media shows the woman as the one who has her shit together, and the man is just a bumbling idiot who can barely figure out how to feed himself pudding, right? You just keep beating down men, right? Right? Is the worst thing you could do. Like, I'll take it to race. Like, the worst, like here's the thing. The worst thing is I was watching this story about this Australian dude. He got gang raped in a prison in Indonesia. He was a white dude. And like I've always said, like, white people get it the worst in prisons and in poorer countries and in prisons like that. White people get it the worst, dude. It's that payback from history kind of thing, right? And I think, personally speaking, I think that's the worst thing to do. I think for many reasons. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with hurting white people. I don't care who they are. I don't agree with hurt just because I don't agree with hurting. Like, there has never been a time where I seen or heard stories of white people getting hurt or beat up, and I knew it was because of that, where I thought to myself, good. There has never been a time where I truly felt, never. I don't advocate that shit. Depending on the context, it could be a little funny, but I would never do that shit. Like, let me emphasize it. Depending on the context, I could find humor in it, But like I'm never like once you do that retaliation shit like that, especially if that individual um had absolutely nothing to do with you personally, like you just inevitably end up locked in prison. Meaning meaning as long as you hold on to that anger and all that shit like that, like you never get free. So you end up more fucked up. Right? And it kills your chances. It doesn't completely kill them, but it diminishes your chances of growth. No, I said that white dude in the prison. They treat him like shit. I knew he got treated like shit. White dudes in them areas, like I said, even with my friends back in the U.S. who are white, like I would never want them to travel alone in the world. I would want to travel because I know they getting ready to get it in some kind of way. They're gonna be targeted, because they're the symbol of wealth and all that. I want to travel with them. But yeah. But yeah, no, take like I don't advocate any of that. Like taking it out on women like that. I don't advocate any of that shit, dude. But it's gonna coming back to race. Like I like knowing humanity, it's gonna happen because like humans do have a deeper sense of like if you ever look like throughout history, humans have always had a deeper drive for equality. If you ever let anything go for too long, it is inevitable that equality is going to start creeping out of that. You will very rarely find any civilization, if ever, if you will very rarely find any type of human civilization where equality did not start to creep in there in some kind of way. It's a human drive. It is literally a human drive for that, right? So with that being said, like yeah, it's like it's gonna happen. Like I know it's gonna happen, but I don't advocate it. I don't advocate hurting people in any kind of way. But like I said, in the situation of woman, the reason why I feel so sorry for women is because of how they're like the woman brain just can't handle it. Like she can't like the woman brain cannot handle um how do I phrase this? The woman brain very rarely you can find a woman brain who can handle assistance in a truly developmental way, strictly for the sole purpose of development. Right? She can handle. Now you will find women who can handle development if it means her getting to a richer man. She'll do it. You see what I'm saying? Like you will find women who can handle assistance if that assistance entails boosting her prospects of finding a richer guy. She can do that, but just for the hell of it, no. If it, let me tell you, like that would be to me that is a special woman. A woman who here's a for me a woman who will truly stand out for me is a woman who bettered herself just for the hell of it. That is marriage material for me. A woman who genuinely bettered herself just because it was in her to do it, and that's rare. That's rare. Because everything women do is to get to higher man. It's how they're programmed. So when you find a woman who's like, what was it? Remember that there was a show. I've always liked this woman too. Her name was it Helena Bonham Carter? Is that her name? I've always liked that woman because she was just always different. I think this is her name. Yeah, her. I've always had a crush on her, man. Cause she just has her own fucking thing going on. like she might be a cunt in real life. I don't know. But like whatever I hear her talk or see her, I've always really liked. Cause she's just had her own. She's just her own thing. But she played Enola Holmes, I think it was her mom, like Sherlock Holmes's mom. I think it was. What was it? It was. I'm pretty sure that was her. Yeah, yeah, that's all right. Yeah, she played the mom, and she was teaching the girl, and I loved her character in that movie. I loved her character as a woman in that movie. It's so rare you see women that are just genuinely just about knowledge, and she was teaching. I want to say she was Sherlock Holmes's mom or like aunt or something like that. But Enola Holmes, I think, was like Sherlock Holmes' like little sister or something like that. I didn't care for Enola Holmes, Enola, whatever you say it. I didn't care for her at all. I thought it was just too weird of a mix of trying to stay feminine and trying to be a strong woman. It just didn't fit at all. But I loved her character in it. I loved it because she was teaching her, and she would just teach her shit. Like, and it was like this room, and I think she was teaching her how to like throw knives or something. I can't remember it, but they would read, and but she was like genuinely like bettering herself just for the sake of bettering herself, right? And I thought that was so attractive, dude. But that's rare. It's very rare you find women that are like that. Extremely rare. Most women, if she don't got to do it, she ain't doing it. Like I was telling my spouse, um, there's a woman who lives in this building, right? And we know her. She's watching my son when he was like small. Because I had a video call one time, and she had to come up here and watch him in the other room, and he cried the entire time. I remember that. And anyway, that woman in this building, she doesn't speak any English at all, but she's real nice. She's always been cool. And she was working at a life insurance company, and she was saying how she couldn't find a man. She was looking for a man, and I remember I told a story a while back. She only wanted the only thing that she said she didn't want, because she was here on New Year's, actually the New Year's before my son was born, because we were on the balcony watching her fireworks, and she was pregnant. My spouse was pregnant, so she couldn't drink the champagne, and she was telling us she was looking for a man, but the only prerequisite was she just could not date a French guy. She said she thinks French men are just too feminine. I mean, hey, the French guys I met, I'd never seen any femininity in them at all. But she said every French man she's ever met was feminine, so she never wants to date a French man. Anyway, she said she was thinking about working at the museum. And I say, oh yeah, that's a good. It's going to pay a lot less, but if she's looking for a man, who's intelligent, that's a good place to go work. I would, that's a good place to go work. Maybe not for the coworkers, but for the people who's going to go in there, because most people on Earth, most people are not going to pay to go learn something. And I told her this. I said, look, if she go work in that museum, there's a good chance she's gonna find a man that's gonna come in. Maybe not the coworkers, but that's gonna come in. Because most people on Earth are not, when they go on vacation, most people are not looking to go pay to learn something. And they got spare time, and they gonna pay money to go learn something. Most people ain't gonna do that. That's where you go find a husband. Is that you go work at a museum. If you a woman, well, I say with guys, if you looking for a spouse, you go to libraries, museums, these kind of things. Don't hang out in them bars and all that shit. That's a waste of time. If you trying to find a spouse who's intelligent, because they got sayings because there's a lot of shops in Prague, and they'll have like books just sitting outside. And then the saying is, the reader doesn't steal. Like, readers don't steal. So they could just leave books. Like, and there's some validity to that. Like, you can just leave books out there. People don't go off in their spare time to go learn something. Right? Most people don't do that. You can leave books any damn where. Ain't nobody gonna steal those books. Steal books. Nobody does that. I just took my spouse out. We went to this restaurant. It was a nice restaurant. It was a nice place. And I got the rabbit. I never had rabbit before. It's my first time having rabbit. Yeah, it's all right. It was cool. Mashed potatoes were better because they put truffle in the mashed potatoes. Um, but they had these books. Well, I went to the bathroom. I seen this whole big bookshelf, and it was, man. I swear to God, this bookshelf, the books that this restaurant had was absolutely amazing. I'm trying to think. I don't even remember the name of the place. I remember where it was, because I would put it. I would show you guys the name of the restaurant, but it was, they had this book, and this bookshelf was by far the best collection of books I'd ever seen. I mean, it was so impressive. I had to ask the waiters, where did the owner get, how did you even get these books? I mean, he had like just all the different philosophers, like a whole just like just collection in different languages, everything you could think to study, but they were old books. And they were just, and I just stood there and just read for like 20 minutes, looking weird as fuck. Like this is a restaurant, right? It was a piano there, but I was just like, that bookshelf was completely, maybe did I take a picture of it? That bookshelf was completely impressive. Like I said, it was so impressive. I had to stop them and ask them where he got them from. Oh, I didn't take, because here's the food. That's my rabbit right there. That's the food. I didn't take a picture of the books. The rabbit and mashed potatoes. Yes, like in the US, like that would be like something crazy expensive. But it was like, I think it's like 10, 11 bucks, something like that. No, it's probably about $15 for that. But they put truffle in the mashed potatoes. I'm not sure if it was real truffle. I doubt it probably wasn't real. It wasn't real truffle for $15. But it was good. It was legitimately good. But I was more impressed with the book. Out of everything, the bookshelf. I'm going back there strictly. Let me see if I can find it. Doesn't it keep the location when you take a picture? It says Antala. Let's look that up. Antala Saska, wherever that is. Oh, yeah, that looks like. I'll tell you what, because I got to use a bathroom. This is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna do. Should be able. Hang on. If that's. Because we had to walk there. Oh no, I don't know what this is. If I could find Lidl. It had to have been somewhere. Wait. Now I'm not, because now I really want to find it now. It had to have been like somewhere. Because it didn't look nice. It didn't look like, like extremely impressive from the outside or anything. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was just like a regular, like, look, there it is right there. This place. There, that's it. What's the name of this place? Yeah, this was it. Yeah, okay, here it is. See, there it is. You see the bookshelf on the right? Oh shit. There it is right there. That bookshelf is fucking, can you guys see that? Yeah. That bookshelf is fucking amazing, dude. The books that they had over there, I stood, because there's a piano, yeah, right there. And I just stood over there and I was just saying, and the waiters were right there, and I had to ask them where the books were from. Like, how did they even get those books? Because we sat down like over, like back over there and ate. But This is why I'm definitely gonna go back there, because I was reading, the one I ended up reading the most on was marine engineering, I think it was, because that was in English, but they had a lot of German books. I don't want to say they had a lot of French, but it was just all, oh my god, that book collection is amazing. That, to me, that's worth more than anything else in there. It's just amazing, dude, amazing. What's up, Javi? What's up, Eddie? On my lunch break, just want to say, yo, what's up? Oh yeah, I'm good, man. Hope you doing all right. Alex, what's up, man? Some messy. You say Trump getting called a pedo by his own. Jesus Christ. Did you watch new Charlize Theron interview? No, I didn't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. Most stuff on the internet, I'm pretty bad keeping up with stuff. But yeah, this restaurant, food was good. Food was good. It was good. I said it wasn't crazy expensive. That's where I had to go to the bathroom. So I went down there to use the bathroom, and I came up and seen the bookshelf, and went over there. Food was good. It wasn't bad or anything. That's a video. Yeah, so we actually sat here. Can you guys see that? Yeah. I actually asked for the calamari. They didn't have any, so I had to get the tartar. Oh, there's somebody else got the rabbit. That's what I just showed you in the picture. That's literally what I just showed you guys. But it's not like it's not crazy expensive. Like I said, everything in here that I seen, I think the worst price thing was probably $40, and it was something I probably would have never got anyway. You can sit outside, but yeah, it was cool. I'm definitely going back, but not really for the food. Like I said, I'm going back for them books. Great collection of books in there. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go because I use the bathroom and it's getting late and I'm tired. So thanks everybody who tuned in. Thanks for the donation. Oh, it was an interview. Shit. Okay, well, let's play that. I tell you what, I'm gonna use the bathroom real fast, and then I'm gonna come back and play the interview, and then I'm gonna get off. All right, so I'm just gonna put the trailer on because I gotta go to the bathroom. Then I'll be back. All right, so let's look up this interview. Oh, you just type it in. Her name's at the top of the screen. And if they put that bitch in a wheelchair. And you know what? And she's gonna go right back out there too. How much you want to bet? Oh, I can't understand that. It's in Russian. Here's an interview. Oh, she loves it, dude. She's loving this. I'm telling you, she's loving this shit, dude. Like I said, the reason why I say it's funny, is she knew what she was doing. And maybe she didn't know they was gonna do it to her, but she knew it was worth the risk. Because like I said, the reason why I think it's funny is because she wouldn't have been left alone with a dude who worked at Walmart or Tesco. Tell me something. I want to shoot pictures of you. No. and ask her why she wouldn't have done it. Because he's a creep. He might take me to his basement and murder me. That's why I think it's funny. Cause she knew exactly what she was going to do. Well, okay, like I said, she probably didn't know she probably didn't know like exactly she would get that kind of treatment from them dudes, but she was fully aware it was worth the risk.
This spring, the world was horrified. Stay in his room so that the whole country under Sullivan.
I don't know how to find that interview. How do I find that? Oh God! Now you got these guys. This is wild shit, man. Put that bitch in a wheelchair. Look at her. She's sitting there in that wheelchair. They put her in a chair with wheels.
Ah, hello, dear friends. Svetlana Filatova with you. I am glad to welcome you to my channel.
What
like
the
that.
fuck? He put her ass in a chair with wheels. Well. Was it Radost? In Czech, that means joy, but I don't know what that means in Russian. Up in the right, in the top right, maybe somebody can tell me if you can speak Russian, because in Czech, Radost means joy. It's because Radost. Wait, I forget what Radost. What does that say? Can somebody tell me what that says in the top right? Pretty sure that says Radost is definitely the first part. I don't know what the I forget what the B makes the R sound, I think, in Russian, the lowercase, or maybe makes the B. I can never. No, the P makes the R sound. Maybe I just completely fucked up. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that says Radost. But there's a lot of words that don't match in Slavic languages like that, but they'll be like the similar sound. Yeah, they put that hoe in a wheelchair. She is in a chair. Like how Steve Harvey would say, she is in a chair with wheels. Gotta emphasize H. That's life. And like I said, don't go out trying to save her. Don't go out trying to fix her. Look, like I said, she thought about the risks, and she knew the risks, and she said, yeah, that's worth it. Because like I said, she would not have gone to hang out with an amateur photographer who was working part-time at McDonald's saying, hey, I want to shoot you. I think you're beautiful. I need you to come. And then you ask her why she wouldn't do it, because he doesn't have money and he might try to hurt me or kill me. She would have told you those exact words. Anybody with any common sense would know that. Right? As it was 2 weeks ago. I'm not going to Tyler Perry's house if he comes to me with a job proposition. Because that motherfucker is any grown ass man walking around dressing up like a woman as a job he enjoys, something about that shit ain't right, bro. And it sounds like he ain't wrapped too tight. So just tell me where Tyler Perry is, and I'm going in the other direction. It just is what it is. Like, I'm not mad at him. I don't think any lesser of him. I just know there's a good chance he might be on some other shit, and I'm not going over there near that motherfucker. All right, just stay over there, Tyler. It's just what it is. Money ain't got nothing to do with it. All right. All right. Because here's the other part. The other part that's gonna see. There's other parts that's good that's trickling in on the interest for this woman because she's Ukrainian. And they still have a little weight with the sympathy game from places like in North America. They still have a little weight with that. Europe is pretty much over it by now. They don't care anymore. But America still has a little bit more sympathy for that. And also because I'm sure she'll try to spin that, oh, she was just a poor Ukrainian. Dude, let me tell you something. Like I said a long time ago with these OnlyFans and all that. See, with these OnlyFans, look, the average wage in Ukraine is like $300, like in Kiev, dude, like in the city capital. So like at best, you're talking, we'll take home like $300 a month, right? These little cute girls can get that easily off of OnlyFans, Instagram, simps on these places. These girls are living exotic lives out there. But they could still spin it like, oh, I'm just a poor Ukrainian. You know, $100, that's nothing for you. You should give me, blah, 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 right? Right? It's all that. Those girls, let me tell you, them girls are living better than you. Any woman any girl who is white and cute or can easily live better than you. There's this one dude, I stumbled on him. He was going. I guess people sending him like clips of women in prison, and and they like, they talk and say, hey, my name is Sarah. I like blah blah blah. Let me tell you something. Them cute girls in prison are making more money per year than most working men are. Easily. Most of those women in American prisons, most of those women in prison are making more money than most American men working 40 hours a week. Okay. Like I said, I knew a guy who was he was doing that. He was talking to this girl. I think she was like Italian or something like that, but she was in America. She was in prison for like 30. She did like 25 or 30 years for murder. Cause she killed somebody. Well, of course it was murder. I can't remember. I forget the specifics now, but she killed a dude, and he said, I think she did 20 years. And he sat around and like always wrote her. And I'm sure I know he was sending her money. And, it was just doing that simp shit. Because I seen pictures of her. Because he would go and visit her. And I seen pictures. And she was a good looking girl in prison. So out of prison, that bitch was bad. Right? Even at like, 40 years old, she was bad. She's one of them Halle Berrys with the short haircut and all that, but she looked good. She was one of them women who could actually wear a short haircut and be sexy, kind of like Halle Berry kind of thing. Most women can't pull that off, and they get their feelings hurt when you try to tell them. But she could. And all of a sudden, I didn't hear anything about the girl anymore, right? So I remember I was hanging out with one of his friends. It was a girl. And I asked her about her. I said, what happened to that one girl he was writing in prison? And he goes, oh, he never told you. I said, no, what happened? She goes, oh, yeah, like she got out. And she said, yeah, she did him dirty. Like she got out and like maybe called him like once or twice and never talked to him again. Once she got out of prison, never talked to him again. Just disappeared on him. But she was still like active on social media. Like they could still see that she was still active, but she just never returned any message to him or anything. And he was like fucked up about it. He was completely fucked up about it. But yeah, but that's it, man. I'm getting out of here because I'm tired. I'll let y'all go. Have a good day, eating tonight, and I'll catch y'all later, man. I couldn't find an interview, so maybe you could email it to me later, and I'll cover it maybe tomorrow or something. So I couldn't find an interview. I tried looking for it. But yeah, I'll let you go. Peace out.